Come stop and take a trip down on my block, where you see hidden potential, young minds sharper than Ginsu, and ain't afraid to speak their mind if they got something against you. We standing with you, we tackle issues like civic pride. Hate will cease to exist, let's put our differences aside. From my side to your side, from Dutchtown to South Side, from Penrose to North Side, from Benton Park to Old North, the West End to West Side. We blessed when we step out, we stand down, rise up, stand together, wise up.
This is Stitchcast Studio, produced by St. Louis Story Stitchers in St. Louis, Missouri.
Members Avoid Stitchcast podcast with members of the community live on location from Hyde Park at an Office of Violence Prevention Kickback event. In this special edition episode of Stitchcast Studio.
They say who that, but you already knew that. That be them story stitches, story stitches, story stitches, story stitches, story stitches.
Yo, what's up everybody? It is Ameren and we're here with the special edition of Stitchcast Live here at Hyde Park with the OVP Kickback. It's a beautiful day. We're going to have some beautiful conversations. People are just going to come over here and share their stories with us. So we hope you all enjoy this special edition and let's see what we get.
So tell us a little bit about your organization and how you got involved with doing this work.
St. Louis Integrated Health Network, what we do is a lot of advocacy work. One of our caveats, I'll say, in our niche is dealing with the healthcare field, making sure that the black and brown people get proper representation when it comes to being at the hospital, applying for healthcare, getting a primary care, those type of things. Me in particular, I'm a community health worker, so I work with the Justice Involved with a program called Relink. And what we do is we advocate on behalf of those individuals that has been justice involved to gather the resources they need to help prevent recidivism. So, we have no criteria, where it comes to a particular case or charge or anything. We work with people while they're in jail, help create the home planning and everything like that, substance abuse, all those resources that people have been battling before they went in or why they went in. We try to help with those and help remove barriers.
So what inspired you to get involved with this type of work?
So I myself, over 20 years ago, has been justice involved. I've always had a knack for it, but when I look at my people, I want the same for them as I want for myself. So I've worked at different organizations where they did provide those services for the disenfranchised people, like I remember Story Stitchers and everything because I used to work at Slate. And prior to that, I worked at another CDFI where they help with people in the community to gain resources for businesses and everything like that. So right now, I'm here at St. Louis Integrated Health Network working with their Relink program.
Yeah, we at the OVP Kickback. OVP stands for Office of Violence Prevention, just to let y'all know. My next question, I guess, would be, brother, what message would you give to our youth in St. Louis?
One of the messages I say is don't be afraid to go against the status quo. A lot of people want to get hung up on what's, for lack of better words, just cool. They want to be like what they just see on TV. And I hate to sound cliche like that, but even something that's like Story Stitches, that'll be good. I've been to one of you all's play and everything. So I know what it's like. Get into something different. Step outside of what you see on TV or try to learn something different. Just explore. Just do something different. Just want something different for yourself. And be safe doing it.
Thank you for that. And I guess my final question is, for those who may have spent time volunteering or coming to some of the events and things like that we hold and other organizations similar to us like yours hold, for those who are looking to get more involved, like hands-on, what would be some next steps for them regarding like community development, community health work, community outreach, building the community relationships and things like that?
So I think that what a person could do is find out what interests them the most when it comes to their area. Some places have wraparound services, some deal directly with it. So you got to have a passion. I think that anybody that doesn't have a heart for serving, it won't do them no good. But if you have a heart for serving, you want to see something different, you want to see something better. If you look around your neighborhood and you say, hey, I don't like the way these buildings look, it's trashy over here. It's organizations with the city that work with individuals, and in the same time while they're doing it, they get certain certifications. So I think it's all about the person, what they're passionate about, because I could say that coming from a disenfranchised neighborhood, coming from that background, it's a service for everything that we need. And, you know, they can always connect with Office of Violence Prevention. And, you know, of course, that's where we all connected with. So just look for some of the events and pull up to the table, because a lot of people love the volunteers.
If they were looking to connect with you, would you have like an email that you can give for us?
Yeah. They can just look up St. Louis Integrated Health Network.
Okay.
It's a universal email address and everything.
Okay.
And it also has all the information on the different programs that we do have ourselves. So we have a program where we help people that are pregnant. And that's just the criteria. You just have to be pregnant. It's called the ELC. It's a maternal health initiative. And what it does is help women that's pregnant during their pregnancy, because some women that are first time pregnant, they don't know what to ask a doctor. You know, and sometimes they get a disadvantage done where their health and the child's health is at risk. And sometimes the doctors just pass them through. So, you know, that's one of the programs that we have. And even if they deal with some of the things that's post the pregnancy, like postpartum and things like that, they stay with them there. We have some of the ladies that work that program. They're certified doulas, nannies that have the backgrounds that come with them, the mental health and everything. So, you know, they can get a lot of information by just going, you know, looking up St. Louis Integrated Health Network, and they'll see the different programs that we have.
Okay. Well, we thank you so much for your time.
Hey, no problem, bro.
For
I
partnering
appreciate
with us
it.
on this, man. Shout out to you.
All right, you too, bro.
Yes, sir.
Stay up.
Hey, what's up, everybody? You know what time it is. Time for another Stitchcast Studio Arts Interlude. That's right, we about to pick the city up. This week, we have a Story Stitchers original song entitled Keep On Marching On.
With such a long road ahead, many wondered if we should. 1 million steps later, we're much further than where we stood. And for those coming after, if the job we do is good, 1 million steps from where we are now, you'll take it further than we could.
OG told me about the stories from the past, back when people like us had lashes on our back, fighting demons, steady dreaming and freedoms in our grasp, moving through these different regions, seeking freedom that's gon' last. Let me tell you where I'm from, a place that look like the slums, where mothers losing their sons and you never see the sun. Youth carrying guns, our truth scary to some, a place that's filled with history but we remember none. I want to change it all and heal the pain and scars, my periods behind bars. I'm here with open arms, see me and these leaders fall, but I'ma stand tall despite the oppositions that we might come across.
Whatever we come across, whatever on the way gets lost, we'll march on, we'll march on. Whatever else comes our way, whatever the storms we face, we'll march on, we'll march on.
Keep on marching on. We can walk alone.
Results of the seeds that got planted, we can't fumble what was handed. Humble beginnings, where half the neighborhood abandoned. So if they take that for granted, it's results of they damage. Another story for another time. College graduation, see him smile as his mother cries. Had to keep him busy, so we ended up with other guys. Now they all in chains, reminiscing of the time before we made it across the southern line. Nightfall came, they had to sneak us to the other side. Now we on the other side, picking up the torch to take it further than the others tried. That's how you grow, and before we take off, we look back and let them know that either way it goes.
Whatever we come across, whatever on the way gets lost, we'll march on, we'll march on. Whatever else comes our way, whatever the storms we face, we'll march on, we'll march on.
Keep on marching on. We can walk alone. marching, marching. We can walk alone. Keep on marching on.
With such a long road ahead, many wondered if we should.
Walk alone.
1 million steps later, we're much further than where we stood. And for those coming after, if the job we do is good, 1 million steps from where we are now, you'll take it further than we could.
Marching on, we can walk alone. Keep on 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 marching, keep on marching on, we can walk alone.
I'm one of the poets for St. Louis Story Stitchers, y'all. We here with a brother. He does a lot of work with black men in our community. He's a community health worker. He's also involved in a number of different organizations in the city. Why don't you go ahead and tell us your name, brother?
What's up, brother? How you doing?
Doing good.
My name is Ronnie Amiyn, and I am an outreach practitioner for a dope black-led restorative justice organization called Freedom Community Center. We exist for the purpose of reimagining safety for our community in terms of how we respond to harm and violence. We support survivors of harm in their pathway of recovery, of healing. So, but in that pathway, there are often barriers. So we also support them in addressing those barriers. So not only do we provide therapeutic services and help, but we also provide assistance in terms of, monetary and material aid as well. And we support survivors of harm, but we also support those who are responsible for harm, helping them understand their agency in creating the harm, the impact of the harm, and developing a true pathway of accountability. Because we don't believe that people should be able to create harm in our community and not be held accountable. But for us, the question is, what does accountability look like? Because if it's not based in community-based solutions or informed by compassion and empathy and the best of our humanity, that's not something that we want, because it only perpetuates the harm or the cycle of harm in our community. So in order for us to build or cultivate spaces where healing can take place and we can promote wellness, we often and also have to build power. Because change can't happen unless we build power, unless we get the resources that our community needs. So power building and cultivating spaces of healing is our goal and mission with Freedom Community Center.
So what got you inspired, and rather keeps you inspired to continue to do this work? Because I know this is hard work, and you really got to care about what you're doing to be involved in this. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there's a quote that's often attributed to Martin Luther King, Shirley Chisholm, and others as well. But the quote is, "Service is the price we pay for the space we occupy." And I just feel like this is my responsibility, not only as a community member, but as a black man, to pour into and contribute to the upliftment of my community. That's just my responsibility. It's like breathing air. It's like eating and consuming. It is just what we're supposed to do.
What's some encouragement that you would give to the youth in St. Louis concerning some of the stuff you talked about, like the community building and things like that?
There are a whole lot of cliche things that people could say and offer, like, yeah, you're the future and all that stuff, but it's true, right? But the thing is that this is your community, and anything that happens in the community is gonna impact not only you, but those whom you love. So we have to ask the question, how do we want to impact the lives of other people? Because in some way, whether it's directly or indirectly, there's things that we do and things that we don't do that's going to impact you and your loved ones. So I think to operate with that awareness, because it helps guide our steps, and also it dictates how we engage and interact with one another and how we show up and present ourselves in the world. That understanding is what guides me, and I'm hoping that those are words that can also motivate and guide a young person as well.
My last question to you is, like, for those who may have spent some time volunteering, doing things in the community and stuff at other nonprofits and things, if they're looking to get involved with you and your organization, what would be like the beginning steps to doing that?
Well, you can hit our website, Freedom Community Center. It'll pop up, and they'll have a portal in which you can leave your information. Also our direct contact, or you can hit me up directly. Like, we accessible. You can hit me up. My number is 314-403-2349. You can hit us up directly, because part of what I do is we intervene in harm too. So somebody can say that I am impacted by harm right now, I don't feel safe, but I don't want to call the police. So what we're going to do is we're going to show up, we're going to intervene, and we're going to put them in a place of safety and determine how we can support them long term. So yeah, I'm accessible. Hit me up.
Earlier you mentioned something about another thing that you do called Black Men Build.
Yes, sir.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so Black Men Build is an organization in which our goal is to encourage black men to take responsible roles in our communities and households and really transforming to meet this pivotal moment in history. We are a national organization, but we have a chapter here in St. Louis. And the ultimate goal is to organize black men around issues that are important to our community and mobilize to meet those challenges. To organize and mobilize, but in order for us to do that, we got to address some stuff. We got to address some internal stuff. You know, we got to engage in our own healing and wellness and discard those distorted ways of thinking that create that prohibit us from showing up in community in the best way, you know? And also, we have to deepen our understanding about the systems that impact our lives. So we also work to ensure that we have a shared analysis, right? So that's rooted in political education, that's rooted in understanding history, and in social connections. And when we have that knowledge or awareness, it enables us to be more effective in our work and how we show up. So we got programs called Therapy Thursdays that is dedicated to political education, and that's a national virtual call. And we have our mass calls that we have once a month. And our mass calls, we have guests come on, and we have a political education and leaning too, and we have some giants come on. We had Cornel West, he just came on, and he talked about his campaign and what this country needs. We had Mutulu Shakur come on, and people who know Mutulu Shakur, he was a Panther, he was incarcerated for decades, and he's the stepfather of Mutulu Shakur. He's the one Tupac often talked about in his rap music. He's the one who influenced his life. So we had him come on, we had Sekou Odinga, and we had a line and a host of freedom fighters of old come through, stamp their approval on what we're doing now, because we are marrying the foundation freedom fighters have established with new strategies of today. So we're doing some phenomenal work. We just came off a 10-city tour. We had 10 cities throughout the country promoting emotional well-being, mental health, and organizing black men. And it's been beautiful in every city to see hundreds of brothers come out and thirsty for it. A lot of people are so critical to our young brothers today. But if you're critical of the young brothers whom you believe are doing not so good things in the community, then we have to uplift and celebrate those brothers who are doing beautiful things in the community. Not only brothers, but young people, all people. And I just want to give or take this opportunity to salute Story Stitches for the beautiful work that you all doing, man, to address gun violence and to just encourage, man, creativity and positive things in our community.
Wow. Well, we thank you so much, Amiyn.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, and we thank you for what you're doing.
Yeah, I appreciate it, brother.
Story Stitches creative youth development programs are supported in part by the Lewis Prize for Music's 2021 Accelerator Award. The mission of the Lewis Prize is to partner with leaders who create positive change by investing in young people through music. Additional support for Stitchcast Studio and Story Stitchers programs is provided by the Regional Arts Commission, the City of St. Louis Office of Violence Prevention, in partnership with the St. Louis Board of Aldermen through the 2024-2025 programs to reduce crime among at-risk youth, and Tegna Foundation. St. Louis Story Stitcher Studio, the center, is supported in part by Kransberg Arts Foundation, where Story Stitchers is a proud resident organization. Thank you for listening.
They say who that, but you already knew that. That be them story stitches, story stitches, story stitches, story stitches, story stitches.